Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 28th April 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 7 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says, after High Court rap, ECI, that is Election Commission of India, bans victory processions on counting day. So this article mainly focusing on important step which is taken by our Election Commission of India, mainly to control or contain this spread of this COVID-19. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under polity point of view. So recently we saw there are general assembly polls that happened in many states. So in this assembly polls there was campaigning that was happened. So this campaigning, it is one of important reason for transmission of this coronavirus and spread of this second wave of pandemic. So because of this, now recently Madras High Court come up with some decision, okay. So it mainly asked ECI, that is Election Commission of India, to take some steps. So because of this, finally ECI take up this decision to ban this victory processions, right. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under polity, and this topic will be important from mains point of view. So now let us try to discuss this article in a great detail. So if you are talking about this article, it mainly talks about this victory processions. So what is context here? Here recently Election Commission of India, that is ECI, banned victory processions after declaration of assembly election results in Assam, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, West Bengal and Kerala. So recently assembly polls or assembly elections happened in states like Assam, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, West Bengal and Kerala. Okay, because of this COVID-19 pandemic, now mainly to contain this spread, Election Commission of India banned this victory procession after declaration of this assembly election results, especially in these states like Assam, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, West Bengal and Kerala. So in these states recently assembly polls held. So if you are talking about details here, why this decision taken? So recently Madras High Court expressed its displeasure with commission, that is Election Commission, for failure to enforce COVID-19 protocols, because whenever political leaders, they went for campaigning, they did not follow any COVID-19 related protocols, and that led to spread or that led to evolution of second wave of this corona pandemic. Okay, so they did not follow any COVID-19 protocols during this campaigning, and that led to increased transmission of these cases. So in this regard, Madras High Court expressed its displeasure with commission. Okay, and Madras High Court also blamed this Election Commission of India for second wave of coronavirus in states like Tamil Nadu and even Puducherry. So in Puducherry and Tamil Nadu, here Madras High Court blamed Election Commission to not enforce any COVID-19 protocols in this campaigning of elections. Okay, so because of this, now Election Commission decided to come up with some stringent provisions. It decided that there will be no or ban on these victory processions would be allowed on after this counting of votes. So after counting of votes, then final result will be announced. So after that, here whoever candidate who won those elections, he will go for this victory processions. So now ECI banned, that is Election Commission of India banned this victory processions. Okay, and next one is maximum of 2 people would be allowed to accompany the winning candidate to receive this certificate of election from returning officer. Okay, so after winning election, only 2 persons will be allowed to accompany this winning candidate to receive certificate. Okay, so this is about important details. Okay, why this decision taken by High Court? Because High Court said that public health, it is a paramount importance rather than this. So mainly in this COVID-19 pandemic, we should control these infections. Okay, because of increase in number of cases, we are seeing there is severe burden on public healthcare facilities or health infrastructure in country, and also there is lack of oxygen supply, and also there is lack of ventilator support, and almost all beds in hospitals, they are filled up. So because of this, whenever we are taking some preventive measures, that will be very important to contain this global pandemic. Okay, so this is about this article. And now let us say next article. Title says India may get major share of US vaccine exports. Okay, so this article mainly talking about US vaccine exports. So this article will be important regarding international relations and also health. So these two topics will come under GS paper 2. Okay, so in this context I want to give you a small homework. Please do revision regarding India-US relations. So we already discussed number of times regarding this India-US relations in our earlier analysis. Okay, so please go through that once. Okay, and now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about US vaccine exports, right? So if you're talking about context, why it is in news? Because India expects to secure the biggest chunk of about 60 million AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine from USA. Okay, mainly now India is battling against the second wave of this coronavirus, and there is steep rise of cases that is seen across country, and our health infrastructure that is in a very tough position now to fight against this COVID-19 pandemic. Even there is lack of oxygen supply, even there is a lack of ventilator support, and as well as the beds are not sufficient for number of cases which are increasing day by day. So because of this, whenever we want to control this pandemic, one thing we can do is here we can go for vaccination rollout. So as of now in India, we have two vaccine candidates, that is Covishield is present and Covaxin is present, and manufacturing it is less when we are comparing to that of daily targets of vaccination. So daily we have target to go for 30 to 40 lakh vaccination rollout every day, but if you're talking about day wise production, it is less here. So because of this, we are going to have some vaccines of foreign countries. For example, even from Russia we are going to have Sputnik, and from USA also we are going to have this AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, mainly to battle against this devastating surge of infections in our country. So this is context, and now let us see details here. So recently White House, that is of USA, it said that 10 million doses could be cleared for export in coming weeks. Okay, so why this step taken by USA? USA earlier it does not talk about export of vaccine, but now it mainly decided to export 10 million doses that will be cleared within next 1 week. So here, because of wheels of diplomacy and as well as appeals from WHO, that is World Health Organization, so top health experts of USA changed their thinkings, and now USA it is ready to export this AstraZeneca vaccine. Okay, so what will be significance? So whenever we are getting this foreign vaccine, so first one is we can decrease vaccine hesitancy. Okay, so there is vaccine hesitancy that is developed in India regarding these vaccines which are developed in our country. So because of this, whenever we are taking this foreign vaccine, then people will come forward to take that. Okay, so first one is we can decrease vaccine hesitancy, and second one is we can try to decrease the prevention, or we can go for prevention of this COVID-19 transmission, and also we can save number of lives here. Okay, so these are some important significance of this step. And now let us say next article. Title says Iran US warships, they engage in tense encounter. So this article mainly talking about presence of US ships and as well as Iran's navy in this Persian Gulf. Okay, so in this context you need to know about some facts regarding this Persian Gulf. This will be very important from prelims point of view. So you have to open your atlas and you have to look over this Persian Gulf. So because you can expect some prelims based questions from map also. Okay, so in this context this article will be very important regarding prelims point of view, and this article will also important regarding mains, because we are having one important thing regarding this Iran and US is Iran's nuclear deal. Okay, that is JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Okay, so we already discussed about this what is this Iran's nuclear deal and Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action in our earlier lectures. So if there is any editorial which appeared in our future Hindu analysis regarding this IND or in Iran's nuclear deal and also JCPOA, we are going to discuss that. Already we have enough discussion regarding this Iran's nuclear deal. Okay, so now let us try to see map of this Persian Gulf. Okay, so this is Persian Gulf here. So it is mainly bordered by these many countries. Okay, so you have to revise this. Here we have Iran, here we have Iraq, and here we have Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and as well as we have Saudi Arabia, UAE and Oman. So these are countries that are mainly sharing boundary with this Persian Gulf. So this is Persian Gulf. So now let us try to see this article in a great detail first. So if you're talking about context, why it is in news, because American and as well as Iranian warships, they had tense encounter in this Persian Gulf. So here in this Persian Gulf, here American and as well as Iranian warships, they had a tense encounter here. So if you see details which are given in this article, it mainly says that, so first such incident that happened about a year, and that led to widening of turmoil in this region. So recently one footage released. So in this footage it mainly shows like, so ship commanded by Iran's Revolutionary Guard cut in front of this USCGC Manomi ship. Okay, so because of this encounter, Coast Guard vessel that come into an abrupt stop with its engine smoking. So because of this is in news. So whenever this type of encounters are happening, that will lead to increase in tensions which are already persisting between Iran and USA. Okay, so now let us try to see some data here. In 2017, Navy recorded about 14 such type of incidents. Okay, so these incidents are unsafe interactions, and as well as it will become some hazard also sometimes. And next one is in 2018, Iran had already stopped such incidents, and even in 2019 also, Iran tried to stop that incidents. And if you're talking about significance, what is the significance? Why we need to remember this? Because whenever we are having this type of encounters, that will be unsafe and also unprofessional incidents. So it will further increase tensions which are already present between Iran and as well as USA. And now let us talk about some facts regarding this Persian Gulf. So this Persian Gulf mainly shared by 8 countries, that is Bahrain, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and also UAE. All these 8 are members of United Nations, and they are major producers of crude oil and natural gas. So these countries are very important for India for energy security. Okay, for energy security of India, because we are importing maximum amount of crude oil from these countries itself. Okay, so if you're talking about Iran, we came up with 0 imports from Iran because of we are fearing about CAATSA. Okay, countering of American adversaries through Sanction Act. And also regarding this Iran, so between US and Iran there was some tensions that is happening. So if you're talking about international relations, you have to remember one important quote here, that is friends friend will be friend, friends enemies will be enemy here. So if you're talking about India, it is friend of USA. Okay, so USA's enemy here is Iran. So because of this, Iran will also become as enemy for India. Okay, so because of this, mainly if we want to move closer towards USA, we also have to come away from Iran here. So because of this, we made our imports 0 from Iran. Okay, so mainly we are fearing about this CAATSA. So because of this, we decreased our oil imports from Iran. So this is the thing you should remember here. And now let us talk about next article. Title says Asian Development Bank sees India grow by 11%, adds Kuwait. So this article mainly talking about ADB, Asian Development Bank's forecast regarding India's GDP. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under economy. So you have to remember some important facts regarding this Asian Development Bank also. That will be important from prelims point of view. Okay, so now let us try to see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that here ADB, Asian Development Bank, has raised its forecast for India's growth in financial year 2021 to 2022, and it said that it will be 11%. Earlier it came up with estimate of 8%, but it increased our estimate to 11% of GDP growth in 2021 to 2022. Okay, so even this Asian Development Bank also warned that there might be failure to achieve this target because of a resurgence of this COVID-19. Because in India we are seeing this second wave of coronavirus, and more than 3.5 lakh cases they are recorded daily. So because of this, to control this pandemic, so some amount of attention to be paid, right? So because of this, it might also lead to some decrease in our GDP estimate. So this is some important thing which is given by this Asian Development Bank. And now let us try to talk about details which are given in this article. So if you see this forecast which is given by this Asian Development Bank, which is mainly based on end March data, okay. So it mainly says that this year it is more targeted containment measures. They are mainly compared, okay, with last year large scale national lockdown. So if you see in last year in 2020, we went for national wide imposition of lockdown. But if you're talking about this 2021, now we are facing second wave of coronavirus. In this second wave, we are going for targeted lockdowns. We are not imposing lockdowns entire nation, but wherever there are increase in number of cases in containment zones, we are going for targeted lockdowns. So because of this targeted lockdowns, when we are comparing with that of last year lockdown, it will not affect economy that much. So this is the thing which is given by this Asian Development Bank. Okay, and next one is India. India is having a largest export market that will mainly support for revival of our economy. Okay, so recently Asian Development Bank came up with Asian Development Outlook report. So this report mainly projecting growth to moderate to 7% in 2022 to 2023, and if you see this year there will be expansion to 11%, but if you're talking about 2022 to 2023, the growth might be decreased to 7%. So this is about this outlook report of Asian Development Bank. So why there will be moderate GDP growth in 2022-2023? So because of this second wave, it is the most worrying. Okay, so vaccines are very much important to contain this global pandemic, but in India we are seeing there is vaccine hesitancy, right? And because of the second wave, there will be also tightening of global financial conditions that can be seen. That would mainly apply pressures on our interest rates. This would affect mainly normalization of our economy. So this is about some analysis. And now let us try to talk about some facts regarding this Asian Development Bank. So it is a regional development bank which was established on 19th December 1966. And there are about 68 members in this Asian Development Banks. Out of the 68 members, 49 members, they are from Asia itself. So important aim of this Asian Development Bank, it is to provide social and economic development in Asia, and headquarters located at Manila. Yeah. So here Asian Development Bank mainly committed to achieve prosperous, inclusive, resilient, sustainable Asia and Pacific region, and also it is striving hard to eradicate extreme poverty. So these are some important facts regarding this Asian Development Bank. And now let us see next article. Title says a ceaseless plight. So this article mainly talking about plight of fishermen, especially from Saurashtra region of Gujarat in Pakistan jail. So if you see here, India is present here and Pakistan which is present here, right? So India has some exclusive economic zone. So beyond this exclusive economic zone, that is 200 nautical miles from baseline, so it will comes under international waters, right? So India and Pakistan, they are sharing boundary, right? So whenever this exclusive economic zone which is crossed by Indian fishermen, that will comes under this exclusive economic zone of Pakistan here. That means it is crossing international waters, right? So whenever fishermen who accidentally crossing this international waters and they are moving into waters of Pakistan, so this Pakistan police, they will catch, or Pakistan Coast Guard people, they will catch this fisherman and they will be kept in jail here. So this is one of important issue that is happening between India and Pakistan. And this fisherman issue, it is not only facing with regarding Pakistan, but also even regarding Sri Lanka also we are facing this fisherman issue. Okay. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So this article will be very important regarding GS paper 2 under international relations. Okay. And this topic will be important regarding especially mains point of view. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So context here is Indian fishermen. They are becoming victims of an inhumane, skewed system of which is involving both countries, that is India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan, they are both having and they are following some skewed system. So because of this skewed system between this India and Pakistan, now there are number of Indian fishermen, they are becoming victims here. Okay. So these Indian fishermen, they are remaining as a prisoners and they are not repatriated for months here. Okay. And they are also denied consular access also till death sometimes, not sometimes, in most of the cases, till death also they are not getting this consular access. So in this way, the basic human rights of these people, they are violated, right? So if you see details of this article, it mainly says that India and Pakistan, they signed agreement on this consular access in 2008. Okay, so according to this agreement, you need to remember two sections, that is section 4 and next one is section 5. So section 4 mainly talks that each government from both the sides, they should provide consular access within 3 months of nationals of one country whenever they are arrested or they are detained or they are imprisoned. So whenever there is arrest or detention or imprisonment in other country, so they need to provide consular access within 3 months. So this is first important thing. And second one is under section 5 of this agreement. It mainly says that both governments agree to release and to repatriate persons within a 1 month of confirmation of their national status and completion of sentences. So within completion of sentences, within 1 month, they need to be repatriated, they need to be released. So these are two important sections under this agreement, but these sections are not followed really, okay? And if you see data here, there are more than 300 Indian fishermen. They remain in Pakistan custody and consular access also denied to them, okay? And without this nationality confirmation, there will be no repatriation that can be done. So after this confirmation of nationality, within 1 month, they need to go for repatriation, but there is no consular access. Whenever there is no consular access, there will be no confirmation of nationality that can be done. So if you're talking about flaws here, so in this agreement, they did not talk about within how much time limit they can go for, okay? There is no time limit given, and both countries, they have not confirmed nationality for as long as 18 months. So these are some important flaws that can be seen from both the sides. So if you see issues here, fishermen mainly from Saurashtra region belongs to Gujarat state. They often get arrested when they unintentionally cross over into this Pakistan water. So because of this, they are arrested. So because of they arrested, even they suffer in Pakistan custody, and also finally family will be suffered. And because of COVID-19 now, so these people are more vulnerable, either family members and also these people who are present in custody of Pakistan. So if you're talking about background of this, so in 2007, India and Pakistan, they set up one joint judicial committee on prisons here. So this committee contains 4 retired judges from India and as well as from Pakistan. So from both the sides, there will be 4 retired judges will be present in this committee. Okay, so this committee used to convene twice a year to meet prisoners, and this committee also provided some recommendations for release and as well as for repatriation of fishermen and women prisoners in this Pakistan's custody here. And what happened recently, the last meeting was held in 2013. Okay, after that this committee was discontinued, and recently in 2018 there are a number of steps which are taken to revive this committee, but from Pakistan side it is yet to nominate 4 judges. Okay, so this delay, which is mainly costing lives of fishermen in Indian custodies and also in Pakistan custody. So this is gist of this topic, and this article gave many examples. There is no need of going to remember these examples here. Okay, so now let us see today's mains question. It is based on this topic itself. So hundreds of fishermen have been languishing in Pakistan prisons for years with no end on sight. Elaborate. So try to elaborate on this statement, and answer should not be more than 150 words. Try to write this answer, and keyword here is you need to elaborate this statement. Okay. So this is just of this topic, and now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. So if you want to clear UPSC in 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial and also highly economical course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So this course will be very useful to clear UPSC 2022. But how? So one thing you need to remember here is before entering into examination hall, you need to cover at least 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And this course will be helpful to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And why we need to focus on this current affairs? About 50 to 60% of questions, either it may be prelims or mains and even interview. So questions will be based on current affairs. So you need to master current affairs to clear this UPSC. And next one is mains answer writing practice. So many students who are freshers and who are beginners, they ignore this mains answer writing practice. Even if they have cleared prelims, they cannot clear mains without proper answer writing skills. Okay, and in this course we are focusing on how to improve your answer writing skills. And next one is, in this course, if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday, and we also provide explanations video also. So in this way, this course is exactly focusing on demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing. Please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. Okay. So for further details, the link which is given in description box. So please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay. And now let's come back and let us say next article. Title says marking the beginning of a new green era. So this article, it is a most important and most interesting article. So this article mainly talking about steps which are taken by Saudi Arabia mainly regarding this climate change. So it is talking about two important initiatives, that is Saudi Green Initiative and also Middle East Green Initiative. Okay, so this article, how it will be useful. So you can get some prelims based question regarding what is the Saudi Green Initiative and also Middle East Green Initiative. And this article can be used as a case study whenever you are writing answer regarding how to counter this climate change. Okay, so this article will be important regarding environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So before that, let us see where the Saudi Arabia is present. So here we have the Saudi Arabia, right? Here we have this here we have this Persian Gulf is present here, okay, and here we have Red Sea is present. And if you're talking about countries which are sharing boundary with Saudi, here we have Yemen, here we have Oman, and here we have UAE, and here we have Qatar is present, and Bahrain will not sharing boundary with Saudi Arabia. You have to remember that because it is an island nation, okay. And here we have Iraq, and here we have Jordan, and here we have Egypt. So these are some important countries which are sharing boundary with Saudi Arabia. Okay. So this is the thing you should remember regarding this map. And now let us see this article. So context says that because of this global pandemic COVID-19, now we came to understand what is the need. So what can be done to contain this COVID-19? First one is we need some international communities collaboration, cooperation mainly to deal with this pandemic. Okay, and also we need to address this climate change also. So if you're talking about this climate change, we need to go for taking some steps regarding this, how to address this climate change. And these steps, then we need to come up with some long-term vision. We need to build a climate resilient global economy for future. Okay, so whenever we are dealing with this climate change, it will also contribute to our economy here. So recently regarding this climate change, two steps which are taken to address this climate change, Saudi Arabia came up with two recent initiatives. First one is Saudi Green Initiative, second one is Middle East Green Initiative. So why this step taken by Saudi Arabia? So recently Saudi Arabia came up with this Saudi 20 presidency, and this mainly talked about how to safeguard our planet Earth. And Saudi came up with this leadership of this Saudi 20 presidency, and in this event Saudi Arabia highlighted that how climate change which is negatively impacting the planet. Okay, so because of this it came up with these two initiatives, and not only this, even G20 initiative which is came up. So that initiatives include global coral reef research, and also it came up with development accelerator platform. So these initiatives mainly accelerate scientific knowledge and technological development. So finally these initiatives that helps to support coral reef survival, conservation of these coral reefs, and also resilience, adaptation, restoration of these coral reefs. So whenever we are going for this restoration of this coral reef, it will be very much helpful for maintaining of ecosystem in that area, and it will also boost tourism. Finally, when we are improving tourism, it will also contribute to our economy. Okay, Finally, we are also saving ecosystem environment in that area. So now regarding this coral reefs, we are mainly facing problem like coral bleaching here. Okay, so this coral bleaching, it is important topic under environment in ecology. So please refer about this, what are this coral, what is this coral bleaching, and what are causes for this coral bleaching, because we already discussed about this topic very detailed in our earlier Hindu analysis, right? So if you are talking about Saudi Arabia, it is also taking some regional efforts to address this climate change. So first, now let us talk about what is the Saudi Green Initiative. So if you are talking about the Saudi Green Initiative, so important aim, it is to raise vegetation cover, okay, that is to increase tree cover or forest cover, and to reduce carbon emissions. So whenever we are increasing this tree cover, automatically that will decrease this carbon dioxide. Okay, this carbon dioxide will be absorbed here. That means atmospheric carbon dioxide levels will be decreased. And also they are focusing to reduce this carbon emissions into atmosphere, and they are trying to combat pollution, land degradation, and also they want to preserve this marine life. So if you are talking about this vegetation cover, they are mainly trying to go for 10 billion trees. They will be planted within this kingdom here. So important aim, it is to reduce carbon emissions by more than 4%, and to go for this they are also focusing on renewable energy programs. Okay, so whenever they are going for this renewable energy programs, that will generate 50% of Saudi's energy from renewables by 2030. Okay, so this is one important target of Saudi Arabia. And next one is they are also focusing on raising percentage of this protected area to more than 30%. So it will be 70% more than that of global target also. So this is about Saudi Green Initiative. And now let us talk about this Middle East Green Initiative. So Saudi will work with the GCC, that is Gulf Cooperation Council, and let me know in comment box regarding so which are members of this Gulf Cooperation Council. So this is homework, and let me know in comment box, don't forget about this. Okay, and under this Middle East Initiative, so target is to plant additional 40 billion trees in West Asian region. So what will be significance? It mainly represents about 5% of global target of planting trillion trees, and will also reduce 2.5% of global carbon levels also. So this will be very, very important. And if you see other steps which are taken by Saudi Arabia, so first one is largest carbon capture and utilization plant that is present in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so it turns 500,000 tons of carbon dioxide into fertilizer and as well as methanol. So this is first important thing that done by the Saudi Arabia. And second one is advanced carbon dioxide enhanced oil recovery plants are present, and these plants, they will capture and stores about 8 lakh tons of carbon dioxide annually. And next one is, yes, Saudi Arabia also joined this International Solar Alliance, that is ISA, and it is mainly promoting cooperation in renewable energy sector also. So with India, it also signed number of memorandum of understandings and as well as agreements in key sectors like renewable energy. So if you're talking about India and climate change, India is also making some remarkable commitments to tackle this climate change. Okay, and India, it is on track mainly to achieve its Paris Climate Agreement targets here. Okay, and if you're talking about India's renewable energy capacity, so if you're talking about this renewable energy capacity, it is standing in fourth largest in world here. And if you're talking about ambitious aim of India is targeting of achieving about 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. So finally, author mainly concludes that Saudi Arabia, it is going for these two initiatives, that is Saudi Green Initiative and also Middle East Green Initiative. So it will mark beginning of new era regarding steps to be taken to counter this climate change here. So whenever Saudi Arabia is taking this type of steps, that will provide some momentum to other countries also. Finally, other countries or all countries, they need to unify their efforts to save our planet, to combat or to mitigate this climate change. So this is just of this topic. And now let us say next article. Title says a patently wrong regime. So this article mainly talking about intellectual property rights which are present. Okay. So this article will be important regarding science and technology, which comes under GS paper 3, and this topic will be exclusively important regarding mains. So now let us try to talk about what is given in this article and also some important things regarding this patent that will be important regarding UPSC point of view. Okay, so now let us try to discuss this article in a great detail. So this article mainly focusing on intellectual property rights, right? So if you see why it is in news. So now we are in COVID-19 pandemic situation, and now we are in especially second wave in India. So recently in October 2020, that is in last year, India and South Africa, they submitted a joint petition to World Trade Organization requesting a temporary suspension of rules under this 1995 agreement, that is TRIPS, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. So in this permission or in this joint petition, it mainly said that we need waiver, okay, mainly we need some sort of extent that protection offered by TRIPS. So whenever under this TRIPS, this intellectual property rights, they are protected here. So we need waiver under this TRIPS. Okay, so this is about petition which is filed by India and Saudi Arabia jointly. Okay, so this waiver will be very much helpful to contain this COVID-19 pandemic, and it will be helpful to fight against this global pandemic by all countries. So this request already supported by more than 100 nations, but there are a small group of states like USA, EU, that is European Union, UK and Canada. They are blocking this move regarding waiver under this TRIPS, okay, because these countries are developed countries, and these countries, they are already having secured some majority of available vaccine with stocks which to be provided to those population of those countries here. Okay, so because of this move mainly blocking by these developed countries. So if you're talking about patent laws, it will be justified mainly based on three important grounds. First one is people have their natural and as well as they have moral right to claim control over their invention. If I have any invention, so it is my basic right to protect my invention. And next one is there is exclusive license to promote invention that will benefit society at large. So whenever government which is providing some support to me to do some inventions, then I will be actively participating and I will come up with many new inventions. Finally, it will helpful for our society. And third one is individual must be allowed to benefit from fruits of their labor and merit. So if I want to do any invention here, I need to invest a lot. I need to invest my valuable time, my valuable money, etc. Right? So finally, if I got up with this innovation or invention here, I need to enjoy, okay, I need to benefit from fruits of my labor and as well as merit. So on these three grounds here, patent will be justified. Okay, so if you're talking about IPR, that is intellectual property rights, so what is this? What is the meaning of this? So IPR, that is intellectual property rights, means rights will given to persons over creation of their minds regarding new inventions, regarding literary, artistic works, symbols, names and images, and as well as which mainly used in commerce also. Okay, and creator mainly given an exclusive right over the use of his or her creation for a certain period of time. So if I am getting patent, then what happen? I will get some time like 10 years. So within this 10 years, I can enjoy this exclusive right. If at all any person who want to use my patent, so they have to pay some money for me and they need to take permission from me to use that. Okay, so in this way here, creator, they can get some exclusive right over use of his or her creation for certain period of time here. But now it is a time of this COVID-19, okay. So there are many people in this COVID-19 people, there are number of inventions that have happened in many areas and also came up with patents. So whenever they are coming up with this patent, then it will lead to less availability here. So if at all any patent that is present available in market, that will be available at a very high cost here. So because of this, it will be not available at affordable prices for poor people. So because of this, it is mainly denying right to access health care for these people especially. So because of this, this article mainly says that patents, they are present, they need waiver now mainly to come up to control or to prevent this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so this is gist of this topic. So I hope it is clear now. By this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.